Hello, I am Mal, and this is XCOM The Long War, Season 2. Welcome one and all. If you are unfamiliar with myself, well, get familiar. Two, this is my second season of XCOM Long War. I did a complete Beta 14 run through, which is available on my channel. If you'd like to check that out, you can. There'll be a link below. And this episode is going to serve as quote-unquote Episode 0 for Season 2. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to the series, talk about what my strategies are going to be, and solicit some feedback. One of the biggest changes in Beta 15 is access to all these cool new starting bonuses for different countries, and I really wanted to get people's ideas and feedback on it. There's 2 or 3 that I'm really interested in that I think add a lot to your chances of surviving through Long War. And I will be playing on impossible difficulty, so that should provide plenty of challenge. But at the same time, not being overpowered, there's a couple of these starting bonuses that are like really hugely beneficial, and I didn't want to go for one of those necessarily. So I've got, like I said, I've got 2 or 3 that I've kind of honed in on, but I want some feedback, see what you folks think. If you're interested in being a soldier during this campaign, there's a link below. You can click on that, you fill out this quick little thing, and then I'll have all of your information. Okay, so let's get started. Let's jump in. First off, we are doing Long War Beta 15 F2. This is part of my run-up to XCOM 2. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that we're going to go as far as we can in this, and I will probably continue to play this as well as XCOM 2. I know that's crazy, but that's kind of my plan right now, so you know, I don't think I'm going to abandon it, especially if things are interesting. So let's jump in here. We'll be playing on Impossible. And let's see, advanced options. We're going to reduce beginner VO because, well, I don't really need Valen to tell me about the explosives thing. Now, these, Operation Pirangi and Operation Slingshot. For those unfamiliar, this is essentially the Annette and Furies missions. And then Operation Slingshot is where you get Zang, and it leads up to Gangplank, which is where you get to assault a battleship. Now, these missions actually come relatively early. They've been changed in Beta 15 to be a little bit more reasonable. In the case of Pirangi, it's no longer, Annette is no longer triggered by the construction of a Scilab. So, having said that, that mission in particular where you go and get Annette is sort of ridiculous on Beta 15, especially some I'm playing in Impossible. So while I will enable both of these, if I don't feel like the team's strong enough by the point I meet some of these missions, I may opt not to do them. And I'm just telling you that right now, because why go suicide my soldiers? That doesn't make any sense. But it makes sense to at least get Slingshot going because you get Zang and he's a cool character. All right, now let's take a look at second wave options. Now, here's where it gets kind of crazy in Beta 15. Look at this. Look at all these options. Wow. Okay, so I'll highlight each of these so that you can kind of look at them briefly. Some of them are the same from vanilla and even from other versions of Long War, and again, there's a lot of them that are brand new. So I'll go through these quickly. We've got Damage Roulette, so the range of damage. We've got Strict Screening, so that your soldiers all the same types. Training Roulette, which, by the way, if you're interested in a Training Roulette run for Long War, my friend Marbazir did a partial Long War run through with Training Roulette. Now, it did make things interesting. I will not be playing with Training Roulette, however, because there's just Long War's really not built for it. It just doesn't work. Not being able to lay out your classes, you know, there's some you can get some super powerful soldiers with Training Roulette. But it makes things just too random, and it makes the mid-game and the end-game towards Long War almost, you know, impossible. I mean, really, it does. And you won't know until you've, you know, spent 100 missions in. So, to me, it's a fun thing, but it's not really in line with having a successful Long War campaign. So I won't be using Training Roulette. But again, if you want to see a Long War playthrough that has it, my buddy Marbazir actually has a Training Roulette campaign that he played partially through, and it was interesting. Okay, now we've got Red Fog, where if you take wounds or the aliens take wounds, it's going to reduce your mobility and your stats. Okay, I'm not interested in that. It's too easy to have things go badly for you. Yes, it does adversely affect the aliens as well. But with things like heavy floaters and mutant elites and things like that later on down the road, you're going to get hit, at least with grenade damage. And I don't care if you get out of sight or not, grenades are still going to find you. So to me, Red Frog is neat. It's interesting, but it's not something I think is going to help you have a viable long war campaign. And I'm speaking from experience. So we're going to pass on that. Liberators means that you have to free every single country. I essentially did that in my last campaign. I will not be doing that in this one because I'm not interested in extending the campaign time. Results driven, less funding if panic levels increase. Thank you, no. Diminishing returns, cost of satellite increases with everyone that's built. Absolutely not, especially in beta 15 because satellite expenses went up anyway in beta 15, so I don't need to make that even worse. Itchy Trigger Tentacle means that they have a chance to shoot at you instead of moving or going into Overwatch. Now, this is part of Beta 15 anyway, if when you're going into Assault Alien bases, so whether you enable this or not, you're at least going to get some exposure to that. Bronze Man mode allows you to what? Restart tactical missions? No, I'm not going to restart tactical missions. Commander's Choice, I will be playing with this. Now, does it make the game easier? Well, yeah, I guess. To me, this is a logic thing, and I used Commander's Choice. I patched it in even before it was part of Long War, officially. This allows you to choose your soldier class upon promotion. I never understood why you didn't have that option even in vanilla XCOM, so I absolutely love this option. I highly recommend it. It makes sense to cast your soldiers in the roles where they're going to be most successful. You know, if you got somebody with like 15 or 16 mobility, you probably want that person to be, say, a scout or an assault or an engineer or someone where the mobility really matters. You wouldn't want like a 16 or 15 mobility, say, I don't know, a Rocketeer. I mean, who cares? They don't really need the mobility. It needs at least not that much, right? So let's put the people where it matters. Let's see, Mind Hates Matter. Genetically modified soldiers cannot undergo side training. Okay, no, I don't need that. Durability. Items never need to be repaired, although you need to build a repair bay to augment Met Trooper. Yes, okay, now I am going to do this. I've got a couple different buddies that play XCOM, and the repair feature where somebody gets hurt, gets wounded, they have a chance to have their gear damaged, and then that gear is not available. If it was just for like one mission, it'd be sometimes, but sometimes your stuff has to be repaired and it's out for several missions. So you might have like early in the game, say you finally get yourself like a Gatling laser or something like that, and then that thing's not available for several missions. Nah, I'm not interested in that. So we're going to say no to that one. Or we're going to say yes to durability, which means we're going to say no to repairs, essentially. We'll still have to do a repair bay so that we can augment mechs, so that's fine. This overrides the wear and tear option, as you can see there. Friendly Skies. Your interceptors are significantly more accurate during air combat. I don't like the air game in XCOM, and I don't know anybody that does because it's so RNG focused. Having said that, I don't want to make it a cakewalk either, so I'm not going to play with Friendly Skies. I'll just, I'll suffer through the air game like anyone else. Miracle Workers, repairing items cost no resources, only time. Nope, that doesn't matter. We're not using Perfect Information. You will see enemy to hit values. Yeah, that's cool. Let's do that. I like that idea. New Economy, funding offered by individual council members is randomized. No. Hidden Potential, soldiers level up stats are randomized. I do like this. Sometimes you can get some nice stuff when you level up. But the biggest thing is I like it that it makes the soldiers different, and it kind of goes in line with Commander's Choice, right? So if I've got someone that has particularly high aim, maybe their mobility is somewhat limited, okay, great. Then that person's probably going to become a precision shot sniper, right? So it makes sense to me to have these two options enabled. Save Scum, nope, not going to be using that. Absolutely Critical, this is one I looked at quite a bit. And considering one of the starting countries that I'm thinking about, this would actually be hugely beneficial to me. But I'm not going to do it because I think it might end up being, especially to the mid to late game, might end up being overpowered. So this gives you an additional bonus to crit chance on flanking shots, both for you and the enemies, if I'm not mistaken. So, but we're gonna pass on that. Now, Dynamic War. This allows us to basically have Long War take less time. So it's by default, it's 50% of standard long war, which makes sense to me. Now, again, I'm not trying to finish this before November of 2015, which is when XCOM 2 comes out, but I would like to make significant progress by the time XCOM 2 comes out. So I will be playing with Dynamic War. Yeah, I could say it. I can. I will be playing with that enabled. Cinematic mode basically makes your guys shoot better. I think it's a plus 15% to hit. We won't be doing that. We won't be doing wear and tear. We won't be doing war weariness. No. Total loss, sometimes gear from soldiers who die in combat or left behind. No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that either. Aiming angles, receive an aim bonus the closer you are to flanking an enemy. Nope. Hidden trees. No. One of the really nice things about Beta 15 is that you can see the entire perk tree. I never did understand why that was supposed to be a mystery, but I like the fact that by default you are able to see the entire perk tree, so you can see what's going to happen at Tech Sergeant or Gunnery Sergeant and so on and so forth. That's nice. Helps you plan out without having to constantly look at another piece of paper. United Humanity. Exalt is inactive. Exalt troopers may show up on alien missions. Let's come back to that one. We are Legion. Start with 2 squad side increases already developed and use additional troops on some covert ops. Wow. That's crazy. Won't be doing that, but that's pretty cool. Quick and dirty. Many missions have fewer aliens overall. Iodine adjustments to increase fragment income is recommended. No, won't do that either. But that's neat. And then recon. You can use meld cans and bomb nodes. You can see them, you can see meld cans and bomb nodes in fog. I'm not going to play with that. Matter of fact, I never agreed with, going super close in, zooming around and looking for the meld cans in the fog of war. I think that's there's gaming and using strategy, and then there's things that are a little too gamey. And for me, that was. Now, I know that, hey, there's some really good players that do that, and that's fine. I'm not judging them. I'm just saying, for me, it's not the thing. So I won't be playing with recon. But I am toying around. Do I want to have Exalt active or not? They're so annoying. Here's the disadvantage. The disadvantage is that you have this extra thing that you have to kind of monitor, right? You got to scan for them, and you got to kind of keep up with them. But largely, you benefit from the resources and the experience because your people train on Exalt missions. They're not that tough until about midway through dealing with Exalt. I think we'll just leave Exalt in. Yep, so we're going to play with Commander's Choice, Durability, Perfect Information, Hidden Potential, and Dynamic War. Those are our second wave options. We do have both of the DLCs enabled, reduced beginner VO. All right, so let's start the game, and then we'll select our country. Okay, now, again, I'll just quickly go through these, and you can read them on your own, and I'll stop on the ones that I am, myself, interested in. Okay, so let's see. You've got Argentina, +5 will. You've got Australia, +5 ability points to all stats on recruitment. You've got Jungle Scouts, Early Armors, Tech Vest, and whatnot receive a small item. I'm interested in this one. This is one of the ones I am interested in, Jungle Scouts. Then you've got Expertise, 15% to Research. No unique bonus. You can make the game harder for yourself and not start with anything. There's several options like that. Advanced Preparations, HCOM HQ starts a laboratory and workshop already built. Cadre, start with 4 corporals. I'm interested in that one. Yeah, I like that one. So far I'm interested in, where's it at? Brazil, Jungle Scouts, and I'm interested in Cadre as well. Yeah, I mean, four corporals, one of each class at the beginning. Actually, technically, I think with Commander's Choice on, we'll be able to even select those. But that's pretty powerful, but without being overly so. Okay, China. Now, I'm not really interested, not because of their starting bonuses, but because of the way the air war works in China. I don't particularly want to start with my base there. When your interceptors go out, it's just tougher the way the air game is. It's tougher for them to reach out and take down enemy fighters and scouts and whatnot. So I'm not wild about starting in China or in Australia. I think Australia is the worst one as far as starting locations for that purpose. Okay, so what do we got? Workshop, repair bay. Yep. 100% bonus cash from alien corpses and wreck sales. That could be pretty good, actually. 50% reduction in Gene mod meld and cash costs and modification time. Deus Ex. Egypt. Fatigue from psi powers, Gene mod, and officer ranks reduced by 50. For sake of glory, start with Advanced Repair Foundry Project that grants fast repair time for aircraft. That's really powerful. Don't overlook that. That's really, really powerful. France, country item requests occur 40% faster. That could be good. Fulfilled requests 40% additional defense. Intel scans cost 40% less. That's not a bad start. That's and relatively well balanced, I think. Foreign Legion, start with 20 additional soldiers in the barracks, particularly for me, starting with Hidden Potential. That would be a very, very powerful start. I'm not going to do that, but that would be a really nice one because you could then basically go shopping for the best rookies. Okay, Germany, Skunkworks, XCOM HQ starts with the foundry already built. Another Germany one here. Facility construction time reduced by 33%. Neo-Panzers, 50% reduction in cash, alloy, and Illyrium required for mech and Shiv primary weapons. No. No unique bonus. India, start with 2 additional interceptors in your home base, and Illyrium Afterburners Foundry Project granting extended interception time. That's pretty nice. Not going to be doing it, but it's nice. Okay, Japan, Ring of Fire, XCOM HQ has 3 additional steam vents. Ghost in the Machine, shivs receive plus 10 aim and you start the campaign with 2 shivs in the barracks. That could be really good early on, for those of you that maybe haven't used shivs or, are they any good or what have you. If nothing else, early on in the game, shivs are really good as being bait to not have your soldiers get shot because the AI will prioritize them because they have essentially no defense, right? So, and then later in the game, plus 10 aim, well, that's always helpful. You start getting something like an alloy shiv, which is essentially mobile cover. This could be decent. I could see how that would actually be okay. Karakai commanders start with a Master Sergeant of random class on your roster. This has got to be the most powerful start that you can do in Beta 15. At least in my opinion, having a Master Sergeant can be hugely helpful to get yourself up off the ground and really take it to the aliens from the start. You do have to go through the, unless they've changed something, you do have to go through the initial mission without the benefit of a Master Sergeant. And then once you get through, you can promote and select everything as you normally would for that particular soldier. I am not going to do this. This is not one of the ones I'm considering. Okay, Robotics, plus 5 aim for new shivs and mech troopers. No unique bonus. Then you have Mexico, start with 500 bonus cash. Oh, that's always nice. Start the campaign with Illuminator gun sight, small item. It's important to note, unless they change something, my understanding is that you then would be able to have 2 of these. So once you receive one in the campaign, you'd have the one from your start plus the one that you are able to receive via the campaign normally. So that could be pretty cool. It's a nice small item. 20% bonus to psionic training chances. For those of you that are familiar with the training of psionic soldiers in Long War, it can be quite frustrating. So this is nice if you want to ease your chances. Nigeria. Okay. All right. Plus 1 mobility. Now, this is the one that I'm really looking at and I'm kind of leaning towards. And I'll tell you why. Mobility, I think, is something that is hugely underrated by not all players, but a lot of players. And I'm thinking, especially early on, if with Hidden Potential I get some high mobility soldiers, I then take this and we get some, maybe 14, 15, 16 mobility, 17 mobility soldiers. It makes things like flanking a lot more viable. And I kind of want to build a really fast team this time out. This would certainly help me with that goal. And then as far as the content bonuses, Architects of the Future, laboratories and workshops cost 30% less to build and maintain. I don't think Africa as a whole is a bad start, but in particular, this plus 1 mobility I think is outstanding. So that's another one on the list. So Jungle Scouts, Cadre, and then this one, Pax Nigerian, or Nigeria, are the ones that I'm looking at the most. Then you have the old path, 50% reduction inside training time. Then there's no unique bonus. Then in Russia, start with Enhanced Avionics Foundation Project, granting plus 10 to hit during air combat. Start with additional satellite uplink, and all satellites cost 50% less to build. You know, another strategy is to start in Russia, because one of the country bonuses, not continent bonuses, one of the country bonuses, I believe, is plus 1 HP to assault and infantry. So what you do is you start in one country that doesn't give that bonus, and I'm sorry off the top of my head, I don't remember what that is, but you start in it, and then you play a little bit, and then you take the next country, and you don't promote anyone to infantry or assault, and then the following month, when you know that they're going to get plus 1 HP, then you do the promotion. That's another valid starting strat in beta 15. Okay, then we have South Africa, resourceful, starting alien metallurgy, advanced salvage foundry projects. That's pretty good. Then you have plus 1 HP. This is really good too. Yeah, hard to pass up on plus 1 HP. It's another one that I've been looking at. Then you have United Kingdom, Special Air Service, plus 3 aim. Very nice. Our finest hours start with Penetrator Weapons Foundry Project, granting interceptor weapons increased armor capability. 33% reduction in ranks required to unlock Officer Training School project. That could be good too. You could rush someone to Corporal and unlock that quickly. United States Special Warfare School. Officer Training School projects cost 90% less. That's huge. You want like a no-brainer kind of safe opening, this would definitely be one you should look at. Cheyenne Mountain, XCOM starts with all elevators already built and excavation costs reduced by 50%. We have ways, 75% reduction in autopsies and interrogation time. So really the United States options, these are sort of like, if you just want a safe opener, especially since the content bonus is air superiority, these are good options for you. If it's your first long war try, these are really, really good. They may not seem like it, but they certainly are. Okay, so for me, again, let me take you through my top 3 picks, and then I want your feedback. My number 1 pick is this one right here, plus 1 mobility. My number 2 pick is Cadre, 4 corporals in the barracks, 1 of each class. And then the last pick, and these are in the order that I'm looking at them right now, would be Jungle Scouts, which gives the early armors an additional small item slot until tactical rigging is developed. And you don't get tactical rigging for a long time, and you use the early armor for a long time as well. So you'll have that extra small item slot for, what, half the campaign, basically? At least 40% of it. And that means you're carrying extra grenades, extra med pack, a scope, what have you. And there's a lot more small items in Beta 15 as well. So it's more powerful than maybe you might originally think. So those are the top 3. Again, plus 1 mobility, Cadre, or Jungle Scouts, which gives you the additional small weapon item. I'd like to hear your feedback on this. Now, once I've gotten back your feedback and made my final decision, then obviously in episode 1, I'll move forward with my country selection, and then we'll jump right into the first mission. But for this episode, this was just merely setup, and to give you a little bit of thought process on how I want to run the campaign. Again, I really want to focus on, flanking out and using fast tactics. Jungle Scouts works well with that too, because the additional explosives you can bring can allow for some nice things early on in terms of destroying cover and breaking up your unit into more than one fire team to do that. So I think that'll work either way. But I do want your feedback. Let me know if you're interested in signing up as a soldier. Again, there will be a link below this video to do that. I hope that you come back and join me in the next day or two when I start up episode 1. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, I am Mal, and I'll see you later.